Hello everyone, I welcome you all to another lecture with Zenith Academy Online. I'm Shravika Jamnik and I'm going to be your teacher for today. Today we are going to learn the first chapter in Commerce Class 9 ICSE, and the name of the chapter is Commercial and Non-Commercial Activities. So let's begin. Human activities. All activities human beings undertake are known as human activities. Naturally, if the word human and activities comes together, it means when humans are performing activities, it's called as human activities. These activities are such as getting up in the morning, taking a bath, going out, going to school, going out to play. Oops, my bad. We're not going out to play right now because of the global pandemic. I hope you all are staying in and staying safe. But regardless, we are continuing our activities because activities continue throughout life. They are unending, unlimited, and recurring. Every day we wake up, every day we have to take a bath, every day we have to continue eating. All these activities are unending, unlimited, and recurring. Characteristics of human activities. Are you ready to learn these? Let's see. Human activities can only be undertaken by humans. So, as I mentioned earlier, human activities, that means humans have to be involved. Human effort needs to be involved to perform human activities. Human activities are taken up to satisfy human want. Suppose it's a very hot day and you're thirsty. What will happen? You will want water. And to satisfy this want, that is to satisfy this thirst, you will perform the activity of drinking water. That's why activities that are taken up to satisfy human want, these are called human activities. They continue throughout life. From the moment you're born till you are a very old person, these activities will keep going on. Activities are unending. They have a very wide range. Now, what do I mean by a very wide range? It The range varies from sharing stuff online, playing cards. Right now, I'm talking. That's an activity. You're watching the video. That's an activity. So all these are various activities. That's why it said that. That's why this is a characteristic that activities have a very wide range. Moving on, obtained for both earning money as well as personal satisfaction. In human activities, money may or may not be involved. Personal satisfaction may or may not be involved. Types of human activities. Human activities is divided into two types: economic or commercial, and non economic or non commercial. In an economic or commercial activity, money is the main criteria, money has to be involved. And in non economic activities, money is not a part of these non economic activities. All these commercial or economic activities are known as occupation. So these commercial activities are further divided into business, profession, and employment. Now, one by one, we will learn about these three different kinds of commercial activities. First one, uh, we can say the important one is business. All economic activities concerned with production and exchange of goods or services with the object of earning profits. So this has to be a profit. The objective has to be earning profit. So basically, a businessman is producing or exchanging some goods to earn some profit so that he can make a living for himself. Business enterprise or business firm, it means all organizations which carry on business activities. And businessmen, these are the persons engaged in a business. Let's learn this with an example. Here we can see a Tesla car, very very famous. Everyone wants to own it. This comes under goods. All these cars, they'll come under goods. And what do you think the business enterprises in this case? There's a hint right here. So the business enterprise is Tesla, and the businessman involved in this? Elon Musk. So I hope now the concept of goods, uh, business enterprise, and businessman is clear. Let's move on to types of utilities. Utilities means how a business can be useful. Business can be useful. It can be form utility. What is form utility? Form utility basically means the form of a raw material changes. Here we can see raw wood. It's converted into chair, which is then in turn the form is changed to a very polished, shiny new chair. So when the form is changed, it is form utility. Place utility. In this case, a lot of producers will produce stuff, but it needs to be transported from one place to another, and business enables that. Business. So, place utility means from one place to another, the commodity is being taken. Third one is time utility. Nowadays, everything is produced in bulk, and it's not necessary that the moment it is produced, it will be sold. That's why between the production and the selling, there will be some time, and for this time, the product will need to be saved, and that can be done with the help of warehousing, and that is time utility. Let's move on to why is business called an economic activity? Economic activity. The objective of business is to sell goods or provide services for profit. So when we saying profit, we automatically means that we are doing this to earn money. We are doing this to earn some profit, and we are exchanging goods or services for this. When we say money, it automatically turns into an economic activity. For example, here we saw we are selling these cars. These are goods in exchange for some money, in exchange for some profit. Business activities may require resources like capital, labor, and raw material. So, suppose you're setting up this cloth manufacturing store. You will require some money initially to start the business. You will require money while it's running to pay the laborers, and then again you will require money for raw materials, and so on and so forth. So in a business, lot of money is involved, lot of economic things need to be taken care of. That's why again business is an economic activity. Third one, it satisfies the needs of family and provides goods and services to people. So whatever family requires, business may satisfy the need and will provide goods and services to people. Let's move on to the next kind, that is profession. Application of specialized knowledge or skill to earn a living. In a business, a specialized knowledge was not required, but in a profession, it is absolutely a necessity to have some specialized knowledge. People engaged in a profession are called professional, and they charge a fee for their services. For example, here a fireman will have specialized knowledge or the specialized skill to learn how to extinguish a fire. A policeman will know how to will have taken training and will know how to deal with criminals. And for providing these services, they will charge a fee. So, of course, they will have to charge a fee for providing their services. Let's see the main features of profession. Main features are it is a specialized body of knowledge. For example, let's take doctors. Doctors, they are a specialized body, and they will have the particular knowledge that's required, such as medicine, or to know all the components of a human body, how it works, and what needs to be done. All this specialized kind of knowledge it needs to have. Formal training. Doctors cannot just uh, anyone cannot just become a doctor. You cannot be in grade 9 and say I am a doctor. You are not a doctor. You will have to undergo some formal training. You will have to attend a medical college, and when you get your degree certificate, that is when you learn it thoroughly. Only then you will be qualified to become a doctor, become a professional doctor. Third one, there is restricted entry. So to get into a profession, you will require some knowledge prior. So, for example, to become a doctor, maybe you will need to have done your schooling. If you have only learned till fifth standard and suddenly you want to enter into medical college, that's not possible. You will have to have some prerequisites. You will have to have some knowledge prior to entering a medical college. That's why it said that profession will require a restricted, profession has a restricted entry. Professional association. Professional association. Let's see some associations. For medical profession, for the profession of a doctor, the professional association is Medical Council of India. Similarly, for law and the professional is lawyers, professional association is Bar Council of India, and so on and so forth. Service motive. The motive in a profession should basically be the service that's been provided, and the motive should not be the exchange of money. The service is what is of utmost important in case of a profession, and a fee may be charged for providing this service. Service is basically the motive and not the exchange of commodities or not the exchange of money. Code of conduct. So all professionals will have to follow a very strict code of conduct. If they are not following this, they may be held accountable for not being disciplined or not being professional enough. Third one is employment. Employment means an economic activity where people work for others in exchange for some remuneration. Now, what does this mean? It means if here we can see a lot of employees, we can see a chef. Chef may be working for a hotel, which makes the chef an employee and the hotel an employer. So the persons who work for others are called as employee. This is a chef. He's working for a hotel, he becomes an employee. The remuneration is called a salary or wage. So whatever the this person is getting paid to in exchange of his work that he's doing for the employer, whatever money he's getting, that in case of employment is called as a salary or a wage. Now let's compare all these uh, business, profession, and employment, all these commercial activities. First one is mode of establishment. Business. For a business, it is an entrepreneur's decision and other legal formalities if necessary. That is the mode of establishment. In case of a profession, the membership of a professional body and certificate of practice, very very essential in case of profession. Employment and appointment letter and service agreement, that's what is needed. Nature of work. In business, it's provision of goods and services to public. In profession, it is rendering of personalized and expert services. And in employment, it is nature of work is whatever the employer is telling you to do. So performing work as per service contract or rules of service. Qualification in case of a business, no minimum qualification, whereas in profession it is absolutely essential that you have some expertise, some training in and you are qualified enough to perform this profession, to be a part of this profession. And in employment, qualification and training, whatever is mentioned in your agreement or appointment letter, you need to qualify those things. Reward or return. In case of business, it's the profit you have earned. If you're not earning any profit, then very sorry to say, but you will not get any returns, and it will be very difficult to sustain your livelihood. In a profession, it's a professional fee, and in employment, it's salary or wages. In capital investment, to establish a business, we will require some capital investment. As per the size and nature of business, your capital investment, that is the money that you are investing in the business, will vary. In profession, very limited capital is needed for establishment, and in employment, no capital requirement, because all you have to do is do whatever your employer is telling you to do. In case of a risk, business risks are uncertain and irregular, and risks are always present in a business. In a profession, fee is generally regular and certain, so there's just some risk that maybe the profession is going out of business. That can happen. Maybe the profession is no longer needed. That can happen, but it's very, very rare that this kind of scenario comes into existence. And in employment, there is no risk because you're working for an employer. You have an agreement. You have an employment appointment letter. So your wages, your salary will remain fixed. In a business, the transfer of interest transfer is possible with some formalities. You can transfer your business to someone else. In profession, it is not possible. A doctor cannot give his degree to a farmer and say, hey, you become a doctor today. That's absolutely not possible. In case of employment as well, the appointment letter will have your name as well as your employer's name, and you cannot pass it on to someone else. Code of conduct in case of business, there's no code of conduct as such. In profession, strictly you need to follow a code of conduct, otherwise you can be deemed unprofessional, indisciplined, and serious action can be taken against you. And in case of employment, a code of conduct is mentioned, and it is mentioned by the employer and you need to follow it. So that is it for today. I thank you all. If you have any doubts, please don't hesitate to comment, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.